Welcome to Year 1 Diesel. My name is Matt. Some of you may know me as Nürburgstrasse from the JL Wrangler forums, where I hang out sometimes in the diesel section. Well, it's been another week, and I'm sitting here in my driveway in my new Jeep. I can't go anywhere, obviously, because of the stay-at-home order. So this week I thought I'd talk about why I bought the Wrangler. This is my first Wrangler, and I wanted to talk a little bit about why I bought it and what I was using previously, and kind of compare the two, and just kind of walk through the decisions that I made and the reasons that I purchased this vehicle, and also talk a little bit about how I used my other vehicle prior to purchasing the Wrangler. My other vehicle is a 2017 Chevy Traverse, and some of you on the forum may know that I mention that sometimes, that I use it off-road. So I'm probably not the typical Traverse owner. I do tend to take it places where other Traverses haven't ventured. And I bought that vehicle because I needed it for my growing family, and it was a practical choice. I really didn't want to admit that I needed something like a minivan, but we occasionally need to haul more than 5 or 6 people, and we needed a bigger vehicle for our growing family, and so it ended up being a really practical choice. So I wasn't excited about it when I bought it, but I've actually grown to really appreciate the functionality and utility of it, and so I've got both of these vehicles parked next to each other right now, so I just want to do a little walk around and kind of compare and contrast the two vehicles. So this is my 2017 Chevy Traverse, and the first thing that most people notice when they see this vehicle is they see that I've got 31-inch BFGs on it. Now these are only slightly taller than the stock tires on the Traverse, but they really give it a very different look. And because I'm cheap, when I ordered this car, I just ordered the 17-inch wheels, which I'm very happy I did, because it's got these nice steel wheels, really no nonsense steel wheels. It's got the BFGs give it a very mean looking stance. The guys at Bell Tire, when I put these on, really got a kick out of it, because they'd never seen anyone put BFGs on a Traverse before. But they work really great in mud, and they're not super loud on the highway. They're actually I've actually been really happy with them, and they make it really stand out. Under the hood of the Traverse is a 3.6 liter naturally aspirated direct inject V6. It's transversely mounted. I think in terms of power output, this is really similar to the 3.6 that's in the Jeep. I think it's about 280 horsepower and 266 pound-feet of torque. It has a 6-speed automatic transmission. Obviously, this is being transverse. It's really a kind of a front-wheel drive car with a rear assist. The all-wheel drive system is pretty decent on this. It's really good enough to get you out of most situations that you're going to be in. If you're in a situation where you've got 2 corners lifted, it'll actually step in with the ABS and lock the wheels that are spinning, and give you traction to the wheels that are still on the ground, and that actually works reasonably well. I haven't gotten into a situation where I was worried about getting stuck yet with this vehicle. The 3-liter turbo diesel in the Wrangler obviously has a lot more torque, and combined with the low-range transmission and the 8-speed automatic, is definitely much more off-road capable than the Traverse. Now, the one area where the Traverse really has a hard time competing is ground clearance. So with the BFGs, it's got almost 8 inches of ground clearance at its lowest point, but that really pales in comparison to the almost 11 inches of ground clearance that the JL Wrangler Rubicon has. The other thing that you'll notice is missing on the Traverse is underbody protection. It's really lacking any kind of underbody protection And so, like right here, these are cooling and air conditioning lines for the rear HVAC system. These I think I particularly worry about these when going off road, because they are really not well protected at all, and I've always got to remember that where they are, and that they're susceptible to damage. Now the Rubicon, by contrast, I can practically stand up under this thing, and I've got so much ground clearance under here, and almost anything that is critical or important, it looks like it's pretty well protected. And of course, this isn't really a very fair comparison, because the Traverse isn't made for what the Rubicon is made for. So I did order the Jeep with the optional trailer towing package. It's only capable of towing 3,500 pounds, which is a little bit disappointing with having all that power with the diesel. If you don't have a bigger tow rating, I generally don't need to tow much of anything that big. But the Traverse, one of the only options that I got on this when I ordered it was the towing package, and the Traverse is actually capable of towing 5,500 pounds, which I thought is pretty impressive for this type of vehicle. One of the things that I do like about the Traverse is the amount of usable cargo space in the back. It has this storage bin in the bottom that just holds absolutely everything, and you can see I've still packed up from a trip that we took last summer, but I've got all my recovery gear and gloves and everything else you can think of that you might need. It just sticks down in here, and you kind of forget about it, and it's all sitting in here. And then in addition, it's got this space in the side where the jack is stored, and it's just cavernous. I've got a hatchet, some safety vests, air compressor in there, a lamp, all kinds of stuff. The cargo space also ends up being kind of a nice workbench height, and so you can pull out your maps and stand back here, and I don't know. It's a nice sort of height just to set things when you're working in the back of it, and you're also covered by the hatch lid if it's raining. So, but anyway, this is still all pretty much packed up from our trip last summer when we went up into the Keweenaw Peninsula, and I actually went to school up in Houghton at Michigan Tech, and one of the places that I'd always wanted to go was out to the point, to the tip of the Keweenaw. This is about 10 miles past the end of US 41, and last summer we took a trip, and we took the Traverse off the end of 41. There's a couple of logging roads that go out to High Rock Bay out here, and this is a really nice drive. It's a little bit rough in a couple spots, and if it's rained, there can be a bit of water on the trails. The bottoms of the trails are pretty rocky, so you're not too much at risk of getting stuck, but it can be a little bit scary because the puddles can be deep and hide some rocks. And with only about 8 inches of ground clearance on this, there were a couple times when I was pretty close to scraping some big rocks. But it's a really nice trip, and I'm looking forward to doing that sometime with the Jeep. Now, the Jeep, by comparison, it does have this nice little storage tub in the back, and it looks like there's a little cubby back here to hold your jack and other things, but really not nearly as much not nearly as much room as storage space as the Traverse has in the back. I am going to kind of miss that. The other thing that's also not as convenient on the Jeep, I have the soft top, so this doesn't really open. You have to take it out, and I haven't actually removed the caps here yet, to the plastic caps, so that I can remove this. So I have to read the owner's manual and understand how to do that yet. But obviously there's not quite as much space inside the back of the Jeep as there is in the Traverse, but I think it'll make up for it with its off-road ability. So I hope you liked the comparison I made of my two off-road vehicles, my new Jeep and my old Traverse. I guess in conclusion, there's a lot of things I really like about the old Traverse. Its ability to, it's a great family road trip car. It's actually entirely decent on minor off-road stuff. It's got a lot of storage, it's got a lot of cargo space, it's got plenty of power. But I'm also very excited about trying out this Wrangler this summer and trying it out on some road trips. So I'm guessing that we're going to have it packed up pretty tight because it doesn't have as much room as the Traverse. But one of the main reasons that I bought the Wrangler over anything else was the ability to pop the top. I used to have an old Jaguar convertible that I sold earlier this year, and our family had grown out of it. But I really liked having a convertible. It was completely not practical because I couldn't fit everyone in it anymore. And so it was usually just me driving back and forth to work in it. But what I'm hoping is that the Jeep will take over kind of as our fun weekend car, and we can have the off-road adventures and the convertible all rolled into one. So that's it for this week, and I hope you enjoyed watching this. Hopefully soon we can get out into the real world and go do some real stuff off-road. But until then, thanks for watching.